Deputy MacDonald.
Taoiseach, that was a very lengthy response that managed not to, in fact, answer the question. I don't know how anybody on either side of this House could welcome a report or data that reflects people living in that level of economic distress, indeed living in poverty. I'm sure we're all agreed right across this Dáil that we don't want any of our citizens to live in poverty. And yet that is the reality. That is the reality for so many families right across this state. And it is perverse, Taoiseach, for you to suggest that the introduction of another tax for water, something as fundamental and basic as water, that is somehow an assistance to these families. Can I tell you, from Deputy Ellis's area of Finglas, from my own area of Cabra, I dare say from every area right across the state where families are struggling, let me give you the message. That is not helpful. It is not helpful to charge people for their domestic water. And yet that is what you propose to do. It's not so long ago. Not so long ago that the Labour Party had a conscience. And had a stance on this issue. You believed once upon a time that it was wrong to charge families for their water. You've come a very, very long way from that. So can I repeat the question to you? Tell those families that use that MABS service, and there's a considerable waiting list for their services. Give your advice, Taoiseach, on behalf of the Labour Party and the Government. How do they pay this bill?
Thank you.
Tell somebody with such a low disposable income how they make this payment.
Deputy, if you knew anything at all about the MABS services, and I know that Deputy Ellis does, that's why I referenced him, because I know the work that goes on in Finglas, and believe you me, I'm very familiar with the work that happens for the Cabra area. I'm not sure if you are, but I certainly am. Let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this. We're spending, and I as Taoiseach have maintained absolutely the money that this government spends to provide this service, because this service is a vital support. Sorry, let me get to it.
Just keep going.
The water, just let me get, this service that MABS gives is a very important service to people who get into difficulty with debt. That may...
Agreed.
Sorry, would you mind just listing?
Sorry, if you want to claim, I'll stop while you're doing that.
Please.
Yes.
Time is up.
But I thought the deputy had something interesting to say. Just let me say this. I welcome all of the reports from MABS, because it's very important information, certainly for people like me. As the Minister, I hope for people like yourself as a senior opposition spokesperson, in order to actually formulate policy that helps people who have debt difficulties, not just now, but also continuously down the years in relation to the management of money. And what the MABS services does is it puts people into a structure that's how... You're denying this. I actually know the service. So does the man sitting beside you.
We're over time. Thank you.
And what I want to say to you is, can I then ask you, why in the north of Ireland has Sinn Féin got an average council charge or household charge of almost €1,000, an average one per house? So actually, what you're talking at the moment, what you're talking at the moment is really a bit of cant, because your party and government in the north charge a significantly higher charge to householders, whether they're rich or poor.